a couple questions on the lawsuit, please.
They are or will be. Not all of them have been because we filed the lawsuit. We should be having a hearing tomorrow or Monday. I've spoken to the clerk of the judge who will hear the case that's been assigned the case. And I believe that Natasha's given you a copy of the case.
Can you explain the grounds of it? Sounded like a portion of it has to do with the lease, the Chicago Public Schools and the city lease
Correct.
on the building.
So part of it is a technical argument on zoning and the lease that we believe it's a violation of the lease.
In what way?
Well, that the lease is meant for a certain purpose, and now we're going outside that purpose. That the lease is a contract, a legal document, and they're going outside the terms of the legal document, number one. Number two, it's a zoning issue that this is not zoned for residential housing.
Right.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And so we're violating the holding laws. Now, if one of the groups here said we want to house at-risk kids, we want to house homeless people, they would be stopped.
Right.
They would not be allowed to do it. And I also want to say, I know that some of the progressive aldermen and elected officials are my friends. Some of them will criticize this, but they're not taking the refugees.
That's right.
On their blocks.
So they're NIMBY progressives. They're hypocrites. A lot of the so-called progressives and socialists and who voted on things like this, and I'm not against it, I'm for it, but I believe that the cost is way too high for the city, and the city that's budgetary issues are too high. And I believe that a lot of these people who want programs like this are NIMBY. They don't want it in their backyards. They're hypocrites,
Getting that check.
and they're not consistent. So we could put these things in Ravenswood, in Wicker Park, in Bucktown.
Jefferson Park.
Okay.
Lastly, since the meeting on last Thursday, the community meeting, what is the latest response that you're getting from the city and the mayor's office? We reached out to ask, is this location still on the table? We have yet to heard back. What is your understanding?
I understand that it's going pretty fast. I'm hoping our TRO has slowed it down a little bit. But the city has not talked to us, and I think that's one of the problems with the city in general and with this mayor in particular, and this process and these officials in particular, is they're not getting community input. They are not getting community involvement. You need involvement from the community. There are communities that I'm sure would be better conducive, that might speak the same language or have a similar culture, but you're putting people in high crime, African American communities that are
Starved for resources.
that are already starved for resources.
You know why?
And a community that's fearful, they're already being pushed out, and statistics show they are.
Yep.
Now, one could say that's on purpose, one can say that's not on purpose,
It's called systemic racism.
but whatever it is, that's a legitimate concern of the residents.
It's a flaw in the system that continues to create these types of barriers and outcomes for Black people. That is called systemic racism. We've seen this before. We've seen this tune over and over again.
What we need to be doing is calling for an immediate stop on all
That's what we've done with the
sanctuary
TRO.
city
Well,
activities.
the TRO only
citywide.
deals with this school. Just so we're clear. We're only talking about that legal involvement only talks about this issue in terms of this school. Other areas may be better. Other communities may be better, and other communities may be more conducive, may be safer, they may be better locations.
Now, are you seeking an injunction for the shelter not to open here, or is there any other relief?
No,
that you're
just
looking
here,
for?
not opening here.
No, that's what I would like. On top of that, as it relates to this building, are you looking for any other relief?
Well,
outside
I
of
mean,
the
I think
injunction?
we're not asking for legal relief per se, but I think the next step is this should open back up for some kind of center for the community. Whether it's a youth center or a senior center, a youth center or a senior center, or it could be both. It's a large building. You could have seniors, half for youth. It could be for, it could be various programs, sports, whatever. Supplementary education, tutoring.
Fine Arts Center. South Shore is the only center in the city that don't have a fine arts center.
Fine arts center, music, art, vocational programs, barbers, chefs, whatever it is. Music.
And could you share a little about what personally drew you to take this case?
Well, I took the case is because I'm close to some of the plaintiffs and some of the people involved are my friends. they asked for me to be involved, and I find it puzzling why they chose areas that have the least resources, that have no community input. I believe in democracy. I believe that communities should have input on what's coming into their community. I'm for refugees. I'm for immigration. I'm for DACA. I have cousins, uncles, my grandparents were undocumented immigrants. Some legal residents too that came with the railroad, or legal immigrants also. My grandfather became a citizen because he served in World War II. So but also what I do know is none of them received government aid. And $50 million preserved, and that $50 million could easily turn into $250 million if you get 100,000 more people here. And we're talking about a city that is not in the black. That's not meant as a pun or anything, but
Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions from the media? Any more questions?
You know, I've been in this community for 56 years. I've lived in the same house for 56 years on Paxton. I have seen this neighborhood when Bramson's and all those stores on 71st Street, and I see it now. This is I don't care what you want to try to call it, I don't care why they want to fix it. This is a systematic process to move us out. Every day, I get 3 or 4 phone calls about, do you want to sell your house? No, I'm not selling nothing. And I keep telling people, you don't have to move. If you sell, they're going to come in. If we don't sell, we got to stand strong and go.
That's right.
They won't put a washroom over there in the football field. We've been begging for it. Wow. There are people who are selling their homes because the community has no choice who play in that place over there but to go in the alleyway to take care of their business. We have a swimming pool in South Shore High School, which has not been used forever. Last year, they said, we don't have enough lifeguards because they have not been training swimming and lifeguards here in South Shore that has a state-of-the-art swimming pool, but they brought the police here to train them in swimming. So all of these resources that have not come to us, now you want to overly compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens here.
Well, thank you so much for you all, everybody. Again, this is South Shore. And we appreciate you coming out, but this is not just about South Shore, this is about all our communities in Chicago, black communities in the country. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
And I can give my contact information, so as we find out what happens with the suit, I'll give you information as that goes on.
Thank you.
But we're in this for the long run. Even if we lose the TRO, we'll be going forward.